So the WNBA expansion draft is happening soon, and every team has already submitted the players that they have to. The Indiana Fever just lost access to their social media accounts for 24 hours. A single deleted post exposed their entire expansion draft strategy last night. With 6.2 million fans watching Caitlin Clark's every move, this leak couldn't come at a worse time. The WNBA's newest team, Golden State Valkyries, is ready to poach top talent worth $12 million. Indiana's front office went into complete lockdown after the post disappeared. Team sources reveal growing panic as the November 25th protection deadline approaches. But the real bombshell? The leaked roster list left out one crucial player. Is this the biggest front office mistake since Elena Del Don's 2017 trade disaster? So lads, the Indiana Fever might be making a huge mistake. Again, this is a might because you just never know. You never know when it comes to things like this because you don't know how players pan out. You don't know. Maybe you're overrating a player. Maybe you're underrating a player. But it's always kind of hard to tell when it comes to young players. But before we dive deeper into this massive story, let me break down what's actually happening in Indiana right now. The WNBA expansion draft isn't just any regular draft. It's a rare event that can make or break a franchise's future. The Golden State Valkyries are joining the league in 2025, and they're hungry for talent. Every team in the WNBA has to protect 6 players, leaving the rest vulnerable to being picked up by the new franchise. Now, here's where things get interesting. On November 24th, just hours before the protection deadline, the Indiana Fever's social media team posted what seemed like an innocent photo. Coach Stephanie White stood proudly with exactly 6 players. Coincidence? The post vanished within 45 minutes, but not before eagle-eyed fans grabbed screenshots and sent the WNBA community into a frenzy. Let's talk numbers for a second. The Fever's market value jumped by 47% after drafting Caitlin Clark. Their merchandise sales hit record numbers, with Clark's jersey becoming the fastest-selling rookie jersey in WNBA history. Season ticket renewals are up 300% compared to last year. That's what's at stake here. The leaked image showed Clark standing front and center with Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Melissa Smith, and Tammy Fagbennell. These 6 players represent a combined salary cap hit of $846,000 for the 2024 season. But here's the kicker. The Fever left Grace Berger, a promising guard with a team-friendly rookie contract, off this list. Industry insiders are buzzing about the Melissa Smith situation. After the controversial eye poke incident during practice and her viral TikTok video that caused locker room tension, protecting Smith over younger talent has raised serious questions. One anonymous league executive told me, "This could be the kind of decision that haunts a franchise for years." The timing couldn't be worse for Indiana. They're coming off their first playoff appearance since 2016, and their attendance numbers have skyrocketed by 67% since Clark joined the team. The pressure to maintain this momentum is immense, especially with the Valkyries lurking around the corner. Speaking of the Valkyries, let's talk about what they bring to the table. Backed by Silicon Valley money and a state-of-the-art arena being built in Oakland, they're not entering the league to make up the numbers. Their ownership group has pledged $50 million in initial investment, making them one of the most well-funded expansion teams in women's history. The expansion draft rules are brutal. Teams can only protect 6 players, and the Valkyries can select 1 player from each existing team. But here's the catch. They can only take 1 unrestricted free agent in total. This means teams have to be strategic about who they leave unprotected, balancing current talent with future potential. For the Fever, the stakes couldn't be higher. They've spent years rebuilding, finally struck gold with Clark in Boston, and now face the possibility of losing key pieces of their supporting cast. The leaked post has essentially given the Valkyries a preview of their strategy, allowing them to plan their draft approach accordingly. Let's break down each player from the leaked image. Caitlin Clark's protection is a no-brainer. She's averaging 21.4 points per game, leads the league in assists, and has already broken 3 rookie records. Her impact goes beyond the court. TV ratings for Fever games are up 156% since her debut. Aaliyah Boston, the former Rookie of the Year, is another obvious choice. She's posting career highs in points, 16.8, rebounds, 8.2, and blocks, 2.1. Her chemistry with Clark has been electric, with their pick-and-roll combination becoming one of the most efficient in the league. Kelsey Mitchell brings veteran leadership and consistent scoring. She's in the final year of her contract, but sources close to the team indicate they're planning to use their core designation to keep her in Indiana. Her 18.2 points per game and 42% three-point shooting make her invaluable to the team's spacing. Now, let's talk about Lexi Hall. Her inclusion in the protected list might surprise casual fans, but the numbers tell a different story. Hall's defensive rating leads all WNBA guards at an impressive 92.4, and her three-point percentage jumped from 32% to 38% this season. She's holding opponents to just 34% shooting when she's the primary defender. That's the kind of glue player championship teams need. The real controversy starts with Nalissa Smith. Her raw talent is undeniable. She's averaging 12.4 points and 7.3 rebounds per game, with a player efficiency rating of 18.2. But the off-court drama has been a constant distraction. The eye poke incident during practice led to a 3-game suspension, costing the team crucial games in their playoff push. Her social media posts have reportedly caused tension in the locker room, with 3 veteran players requesting private meetings with coaching staff. Multiple sources confirm that 3 teams, including the Las Vegas Aces, have already inquired about potential trades. Tammy Fagbenel's protection is perhaps the most puzzling piece of this puzzle. While she provides valuable veteran presence, her numbers have declined significantly since mid-season. She's averaging just 5.2 points and 4.1 rebounds in her last 15 games, down from 8.7 points and 6.3 rebounds in the first half of the season. Her defensive impact has also diminished, with opponents shooting 47% against her in the paint, up from 38% earlier in the year. Several WNBA analysts suggest this could be a smokescreen for a team that has been preparing for this draft for months. They have developed a proprietary scouting system that factors in both traditional stats and advanced metrics. They have $5.7 million in cap space to absorb bigger contracts, and the marketing machine to turn role players into stars. One Valkyrie source mentioned they've already identified 3 potential franchise cornerstones. If you like the video, then like the video and subscribe to the channel. The WNBA's new TV deal kicks in next season, potentially doubling the salary cap from $1.4 million to $2.8 million. Players left unprotected could see their value skyrocket under the new financial landscape. Young players on rookie contracts, like Berger, become even more valuable as teams try to manage their cap space. The Fever's decisions today could cost them millions in future trade assets. That deleted social media post might have just shown their entire hand to the league's newest powerhouse. The fan reaction has been intense. Fevergate is trending on Twitter, with over 50,000 tweets in the last 24 hours. The team's Instagram engagement has jumped 312% since the leak. Season ticket holders are flooding the team's phone lines demanding answers. One fan group has even started a Change.org petition to save Grace Berger, gathering 15,000 signatures in just 6 hours. Even Caitlin Clark's father tweeted a cryptic message, "Trust the process?" The tweet garnered 100,000 likes before being deleted. Remember when the Detroit Shock lost their core in the 2009 dispersal draft? They went from champions to struggling to make the playoffs, eventually relocating to Tulsa. The Fever are walking a similar tightrope. One wrong move could unravel years of careful rebuilding. The next 48 hours will be crucial for the franchise's future. Sources close to the team suggest there might be more to this story than meets the eye. Rumors are swirling about potential 3-team trades involving protected players. There's talk of unsigned draft picks from Europe who could factor into the equation. International players currently competing overseas might change the entire landscape. The deleted post might be just the tip of the iceberg in a much larger roster transformation plan. The WNBA community is holding its breath. Will Indiana stick to the leaked list? Or was this an elaborate misdirection? Could there be last-minute changes that shock everyone? What happens to the players left unprotected, and how they respond to being left vulnerable? The answers will shape not just the Fever's future, but the entire league's competitive balance for years to come. One thing's certain, the expansion draft just got a lot more interesting. Every team in the league is watching Indiana's next move. The Valkyries' front office is probably working overtime, analyzing every possible scenario. Agents are working the phones, trying to get clarity on their clients' situations. The ripple effects of this leak will be felt throughout the league. Looking at the expansion draft's historical precedent makes this situation even more intriguing. During the 2008 Atlanta Dream expansion, teams that leaked protection information saw an average of 2.3 trade offers for their exposed players before the official list submission. Fast forward to today, and the stakes are exponentially higher. The Fever's market value has increased by 312% since drafting Clark, making every roster decision a multi-million-dollar gamble. Behind the scenes, sports betting markets are responding to the leak. Vegas odds on the Fever's 2025 championship chances dropped from plus 800 to plus 1,200 within hours of the post going viral. Betting analysts point to the uncertainty surrounding the team's roster stability as a major factor. The market hates uncertainty, explains veteran oddsmaker Jimmy Peterson. This leak created plenty of it. The psychological impact on players can't be overlooked either. Sports psychologist Dr. Sarah Martinez, who works with several WNBA teams, explains, being publicly exposed as unprotected can affect player performance and team dynamics. It's like finding out you're expendable through social media. That's tough to process. Training sessions since the leak have reportedly been tense. One practice observer noted significantly less player interaction than usual, with some athletes appearing distracted or hesitant in scrimmages. The coaching staff has scheduled additional individual meetings to address concerns and maintain focus. The international angle adds another layer of complexity. 3 European teams have already reached out to agents of potentially unprotected Fever players, sensing an opportunity to lure talent overseas. The Turkish powerhouse Fenerbahce has reportedly prepared substantial offers for any exposed players with international experience. Media coverage has exploded beyond sports channels. Mainstream news outlets are picking up the story, framing it as a cautionary tale about social media management and professional sports. The incident has even sparked discussions about digital security protocols across other professional leagues. Corporate sponsors are watching closely too. The Fever's main jersey sponsor, a major healthcare provider, has requested an emergency meeting with team executives. Their $8 million annual deal includes performance and stability clauses that could be affected by major roster disruptions. Local businesses around Gainbridge Fieldhouse are concerned as well. Restaurant owner Maria Rodriguez, whose establishment sees a 40% revenue increase on game days, says, "We built our business model around Fever home games. Any threat to team success affects the entire community." The timing couldn't be more critical for merchandise vendors either. Holiday season sales projections were based on roster stability, with Clark jerseys expected to drive $3.2 million in December sales alone. The uncertainty has caused some retailers to adjust their inventory orders. Former WNBA executive Jim Thompson offered additional insight. What makes this leak particularly damaging is its timing. Teams usually have back-channel communications about protection strategies. This forced Indiana's hand and eliminated their negotiating leverage. Social media engagement has reached unprecedented levels. TikTok creators have generated over 50 million views on Fever-related content in the past 24 hours. Fan theories range from plausible to outlandish, with some suggesting the leak was an intentional marketing stunt. The team's community relations department is working overtime. Season ticket holder focus groups have been hastily organized to gauge fan sentiment. Early feedback suggests a 50-50 split between those supporting the apparent strategy and those calling for changes. Youth basketball programs affiliated with the Fever are feeling the impact too. Local coaches report increased questions from young players about team loyalty and career stability. "These kids look up to these players," says AAU coach Marcus Williams. "They're learning tough lessons about the business side of basketball." Other WNBA markets are closely monitoring the situation. Team valuations across the league could be affected by how this plays out. Sports business analysts estimate that a successful expansion draft strategy could set a new benchmark for franchise development. The Players' Union has taken notice as well. While they haven't issued an official statement, sources say they're monitoring the situation for potential contract implications. The next collective bargaining agreement negotiations could include new provisions about roster protection announcements. Technology experts are weighing in on the social media aspect. This incident highlights the need for multi-level approval systems for team social posts, says digital security consultant Rachel Chen. One person shouldn't have unilateral posting power. The upcoming protection deadline has created a pressure cooker environment within the organization. Staff members report increased security measures, including phone checks at team facilities. Even the practice facility cafeteria has implemented a no-phone policy to prevent further leaks. As this story continues to unfold, one thing becomes increasingly clear. The modern WNBA is a complex ecosystem where social media, fan engagement, player welfare, and business interests intersect. The Fever situation serves as a case study in crisis management for professional sports franchises. Stay tuned for exclusive coverage of the final protection list and its immediate aftermath. What last-minute changes do you expect from Indiana's front office? Keep your eyes on the Fever because in professional sports, tomorrow's headlines are being written today. Thanks you subscribe the channel.